Went to the Secretary of State today and was able to get a couple documents apostilled. I have right here is a California birth certificate apostille. My name is Rufus. I'm the notary dude here in Los Angeles, California. If you're in a situation where you need to get a California birth certificate apostille, this is what's going to look like once you get the apostille completed. If you see right there, it has a California Secretary of State stamp on it. And if you look over here, part of the stamp is actually on the actual birth certificate that was submitted itself. So this is the apostille certificate right here, and then we have the actual birth certificate. Now, if you're in a situation where you need to get a birth certificate apostille, you need to go to the state where you were born. So if you were born in Texas, but you're currently living in California, you can't go to the California Secretary of State to get that apostille completed. You're gonna have to go to Texas. This is a big mistake that a lot of people make. They assume they can just go to any Secretary of State to get a document apostilled. Because this is a California birth certificate, it's gonna have to go to the Secretary of State here in California to get apostilled. Now, in California, they're really specific with which birth, death, marriage certificates can be apostilled. Just because you have a California birth certificate doesn't mean it's going to be apostillable. You need to make sure that it's signed by the county clerk. If we look at this birth certificate right here, I want to keep my client's identity here, but if you look at the very bottom of it, it's going to be signed by someone. And here in the corner there, you see it's signed by the county clerk, recorder, registrar. If you have a birth certificate from California that is not signed by the county clerk, you take it in to get the apostille done, you run a huge risk of it being rejected. The reason why is this: the Secretary of State is looking for an individual's signature. When they issue an apostille, they don't necessarily care what the document is. They just want to make sure the person who signed that document is in fact legit. And a lot of the health departments, the cities, they don't have those officers in their system with the Secretary of State yet. So if the Secretary of State does not have that officer's information in their system, they're going to reject it. The county clerk in all the counties in California are all in the Secretary of State system. So if your document, your birth, death, or marriage certificate was signed by the county clerk, you're going to have a really good success rate of getting the apostille completed. If not, there's a chance it's going to be rejected. So what can you do with a birth certificate apostille? Well, typically the reason why you need to get a document apostille like a birth certificate is because you're moving to a foreign country, taking a job in a foreign country, going to school in a foreign country. It's usually going to deal with a foreign country. And the reason why they require it to be apostilled is because they don't trust that the birth certificate you supply to them, like right here, is legitimate. They don't trust that it's valid. They don't trust that it's real. They think it might be fraudulent. So the only way to verify if a birth certificate is legit is this stamp right here that the Secretary of State puts on it. Now, how do you go about getting a California birth certificate apostille? Well, my name is Rufus. I'm the notary dude here in Los Angeles, California. I specialize in getting apostilles, especially here in California. I have a working relationship with the Secretary of State where I can personally go in and get the document apostilled, oftentimes the same day, oftentimes within 30 minutes. So if you need to get an apostille for the state of California, especially a birth, death, or marriage certificate, you need to call me. This is what it's going to look like. My contact information is below. All I need to know is this. Number one, what is the document? I need to know what that document is. Number two, I'm going to need a picture of the document to make sure it's going to be signed by the correct individual. If you don't do this, you run a huge risk. And number three, I need to know what country is requesting the apostille. So contact information is below. My name is Rufus. I'm the notary dude. Reach out if you need to get a California birth certificate apostille.